There is so much to see, there is so much to learn. When you visit the Oregon Coast Aquarium, it is difficult to decide really which way to look. That is Jeff Thomas's first assignment for our segment called In Your Prime. Welcome, Jeff.
Hello, I'm Jeff Thomas, and on this segment of In Your Prime, we're visiting the new exhibit, Enchanted Seas, at Keiko's previous home, the Oregon Coast Aquarium in Newport, Oregon. First, we're going to talk with aquarist Jim Burke.
We opened it for Memorial Day last year, 2002. Yeah, it's a 2-year exhibit, so it'll be here through May of 2005. We designed the display, and then for certain animals, build the displays, and then have those animals on site. Right behind me here, this is a pretty neat tank. This is a tube, an acrylic tube that's 6 feet in diameter, and in here we have 4 sea dragons, 2 leafy sea dragons and 2 weedy sea dragons. They are from southeastern Australia. They were bred in captivity. They're almost a year old. We have great relationships with other aquariums throughout the world, and especially throughout the country, where we'll trade animals with them. They can put those animals on display. Some of the animals might stay here in backup holding areas where we'll keep them and grow them and possibly breed them. So we either trade them, hold them, or some animals will stay on exhibit. We might move some of the jellyfish to a different part of the aquarium.
One of the things I find interesting at the Enchanted Sea exhibit is the potbelly seahorses, where 2 pairs have produced over 300 little potbellies.
These guys are from the Southern Ocean near Australia, New Zealand. They're all juveniles they're from 2 weeks old. These are coral catfish, saltwater catfish. There's very few species of true saltwater catfish. These guys are ferocious predators. They school up and they'll get quite big. They'll outgrow that tank very shortly. We have a lace moray here, and there's also a zebra moray that's hiding behind the rocks. They're pretty territorial animals. Usually if he feels threatened, he'll open his mouth and sit there.
You've no doubt seen one of their relatives, the jellyfish, washed up on the beach. But did you know that much like a large school of fish, the Pacific sea nettle travels in a group?
They get really thick, where they'll be in the water column up and down the whole Pacific coast, or the whole coast of Oregon anyway, and they'll be from about 5 feet down to about 50 feet down, and about 1 jelly per every 5 square feet. So if you look down, you just see this, they're all swimming in the same direction. It's really, really cool to see. They're all pretty much in a line, and a very thick line, and swimming usually against the current. So this is a coral reef. These are all coral reef fish that live in the Pacific Ocean. In here we have a cleaner wrasse. This little fish with a stripe makes its living by picking off bugs off of other animals. This is a yellow tang. These guys are also called surgeon fish. But they have a modified scale that is really sharp. So they have this defensive mechanism. If any other fish swims near them, they can go and swim against that fish and hit them with their tail, and that will cause an injury or a wound to the other fish. You can just see it, this looks like a little tiny white spot by the tail, and it's really, really sharp. This is a common cuttlefish. They're related to squid and octopus. They're a master of camouflage. When they're threatened, they have these 2 dark spots that appear on their back that are like they're fake eye spots. So he gives the illusion that he has these 2 giant eyes. So to predators, all of a sudden he seems bigger than he really is.
While many of the animals in the exhibit are acquired from other aquariums, the Oregon Coast Aquarium enlists divers to gather specimens from the Pacific Ocean. Dive Safety Officer Val Hodges makes sure the divers are safe.
It's called the buddy system, and it's a very important part of our safety program here at the aquarium. In some cases, it means that the diver is tended by a person up top sitting there ready and willing to jump in case something goes wrong. But usually in the open water, we dive with 2 divers that are similarly equipped and right next to each other so that they can help each other out. It's an important part of our safety program.
Behind closed doors and up the stairs, Becky Benson, volunteer diver, prepares herself for an interpretive dive.
We've recently started a new project that uses our volunteer divers to come in after hours. When people rent the facility after hours, we can give interpretive dive programs, and we can customize it to the client. Good afternoon and welcome to the Oregon Coast Aquarium. My name is Val Hodges and I'm the Diving Safety Officer here. Pleased everybody could make it today. We have a special treat for you. We've got the star of our show today is not only all of the fish in our exhibit, but one of the divers in the volunteer diver program, Becky Benson, is going to tell you a little bit about. The divers are just a really amazing part of the aquarium here, and people do come to see the animals, but when they see the humans in the water, it just connects them. They don't have to be in the water themselves. It's sort of a vicarious diving experience, and they enjoy being able to talk to the divers too.
I had a great time at the Oregon Coast Aquarium. Hopefully you did as well. Families and groups are always welcome. Go to their website, www.aquarium.org. I'm Jeff Thomas for In Your Prime. I'll see you next time. I'm going to go check out the sea dragons again.
Gosh, it really amazes me how much those sea dragons resemble the drawings of what artists believe the dragons once looked like. Gene Gill devotes his time and his talent to his favorite city, Portland, Oregon. You'll see that he knows the town and he knows how to portray it during Senior Scene, which is coming up next.